General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, May 20th reveal that the 2025 Nurses' Ball, the most anticipated annual event in Port Charles, has always been a celebration of light, love, and compassion. But this year, behind the red velvet curtains and glamorous stage, a silent earthquake is brewing, one that Lucy, the woman whose presence has long been the soul of the Nurses' Ball, is struggling to confront. What was supposed to be the brightest festive season is turning into a series of tense days, where every minor decision could lead to the complete collapse of the very event she has spent years building. And while the residents of Port Charles eagerly await the gala night, Lucy is working frantically to keep everything from falling into chaos. The situation takes a sharp turn when one of the main sponsors suddenly pulls out without providing a clear reason, leaving a major financial gap that Lucy must fill within days. This sets off a chain reaction. Performance contracts are put on hold, logistics demand larger advances, and performers begin to question the professionalism of the organizers. For Lucy, it's not just a financial shock but a devastating blow to her personal credibility, something she has painstakingly built through years of turning the Nurses' Ball into an irreplaceable institution in Port Charles. As she struggles to patch the budget, another piece of news throws everything further into disarray: the sudden appearance of a new, influential figure, YDE, a young singer and actress, set to make her debut at the Nurses' Ball. Though initially seen as a major media boost that could elevate the event beyond local boundaries, YDE's participation turns into a logistical nightmare. Her team has special demands for scheduling, lighting, sound, and security. But more importantly, her presence sparks rumors of a secret connection to Michael, who is returning to Port Charles after treatment in Germany. The news spreads rapidly, drawing media attention. The spirit of a charitable event slowly morphs into an arena of shocking revelations and unanswered questions. Lucy begins to realize that this year's event is no longer just a fundraiser. It has become a political, emotional, and media battlefield, where every attendee carries a story, a secret, and an unresolved personal struggle. What were once entertainment acts now serve as vehicles for statements, confrontations, or reconciliations. And Lucy, caught in the middle, is being pulled in all directions, forced to choose between yielding to media pressures or preserving the original spirit of the Nurses' Ball: kindness, compassion, and community. But the tension doesn't stop there. Leaked information suggests that Willow might make an appearance, possibly to publicly apologize to Michael, or as a move to repair her image following the custody scandals involving Wiley and Amelia. Carly, Jason, Drew, Nina, Diane, each has a role, a connection, a hidden agenda. They may all attend this year's ball, not to sing or dance, but to take part in an invisible battlefield that everyone can feel. Nurses' Ball 2025 has become a stage for truth. Lucy has never felt more alone in her role as coordinator. She's making dozens of decisions daily, each carrying risk, pressure, and potential backlash. Her worry isn't only about logistics, but about the psychological fallout that could follow the performances. If Willow and Michael confront each other publicly, if Nina and Carly run into each other backstage, if YDE hints at anything regarding Michael, or if Drew tries to control the performances as he has in other areas, Lucy could lose control completely. Yet if she pulls back, if she cancels or restricts the performer's freedom, she betrays the very core of the Nurses' Ball, a place where everyone has the right to express themselves for a greater good. So Lucy continues. Exhausted, sleepless, fully aware she's steering a ship through treacherous, iceberg-filled waters. But she still hopes. Hopes that in the final moment, when the stage lights come on and the first notes are sung, people will pause their battles, forget their grudges, and stand together, for the values the Nurses' Ball has always represented. And if that happens, then no matter how much it costs her, Lucy will know she did the right thing. Meanwhile, Portia stands at a dangerous crossroads after unexpectedly receiving an offer from Drew, an offer that seems like a chance to save her position and personal reputation, but is actually a gateway to a pit of lies and criminal behavior. Drew, usually calm and rational on the surface, has begun employing increasingly bold and dark tactics to maintain control of a situation that's spiraling. Amidst the chaos of legal battles, custody wars, and collapsing alliances, he's shifted toward a deceptive strategy, fabricating a false accusation against Tracy, with Portia as the chosen instrument of the plot. The proposal isn't just a favor. Drew frames it to Portia as a just cause. All she needs to do is confirm that Tracy poisoned him with ketamine, the substance that once caused Drew to lose control and pushed him into the legal and media spotlight. According to Drew, Portia only needs to adjust a few small details in her medical report or hint to investigators that she once saw Tracy near the vial. But Portia, a doctor, a mother, someone who's fought to uphold her medical ethics in the cutthroat world of Port Charles, instantly recognizes the true nature of the request: coercion, masked as justice. Drew's plan is not only cruel but dangerously calculated. He's trying to weaponize Portia's professional status to manufacture false evidence, a move that could cost her medical license, lead to criminal charges, and destroy the career she spent a lifetime building. Worse still, Portia knows that if she refuses, Drew might expose secrets she's tried desperately to bury: missteps in past treatments, questionable links to hospital funding sources, even evidence of her prior collusion with Nina in covering up a drugging incident. The more she thinks, the more suffocated Portia feels. She's caught in a no-win situation. If she agrees, she betrays her ethics and professional oath. If she refuses, she risks losing everything: her job, her reputation, even her freedom. Even more disturbing is the realization that Tracy may just be Drew's first target. This is only the beginning of a larger scheme to eliminate rivals and reshape the power dynamics of Port Charles to serve Drew's interests. Portia begins to see that Drew is no longer the man once praised for courage and ideals. He's become a manipulator, ready to destroy anyone in his path to reclaim center stage. And now she, who once trusted and even secretly collaborated with him, is the pawn being pushed into a corner with no escape. Despite her past mistakes, becoming part of such a dirty plan crosses every ethical line Portia holds. Deep down, she knows that if she doesn't act now, the truth will be completely distorted. And if the truth is lost, then her very existence in this community, as a doctor, a mother, a citizen, will cease to have meaning. Will she find the courage to defy Drew? To risk everything and stand against a man who's becoming dangerously unhinged? Or will she be dragged into his darkness, becoming part of a scheme she once loathed? In the midst of escalating events, Portia's decision will be the catalyst that could reshape the entire moral and power order of Port Charles. And she knows, whatever path she takes, there's no turning back. Nurses Ball 2025, an event that has long been a symbol of compassion and unity within the Port Charles community, is approaching with an atmosphere filled with excitement, glamour, and high expectations. However, this year, behind the magnificent stages, the extravagant gowns, the laughter welcoming guests, and the lively music echoing through the ballroom, there lies an undercurrent of tension, a quiet earthquake waiting to erupt from the younger generation, those who carry untold stories, unhealed wounds, and secrets that could alter the very fabric of this small town. Trina, Jocelyn, and especially Gio are bringing about intense transformations, not just in their performances, but in how they step away from their old selves, taking the stage this year as individuals who have been wounded, tested, yet not broken. Trina, once a symbol of resilience and strength, surprises everyone by choosing to perform a deeply introspective piece, something she has never revealed before. The movements, the lyrics, and the notes Trina sings on stage are not just an artistic performance but a quiet testimony of what she has lost: friendship, love, and trust. She has experienced the feeling of abandonment, witnessed those closest to her turn their backs, and now, she refuses to live in silence any longer. She chooses the stage as her means of liberation. Jocelyn brings a different layer of emotion. Once the rebellious girl with a tender heart, Joss enters Nurses Ball this year with a heart full of pain but not weakness. Recent events, from losing trust in Carly to irreparable rifts with her former best friends, have made Joss more guarded, cautious, and closed off than ever before. Yet, she decides to show up, to perform. Because Jocelyn understands that art is the only way left for her to speak out, to express herself without anyone interrupting or forcing her hand. Whether it's a youthful pop tune or a somber melody, Joss's performance will be colored by a girl trying to reclaim her identity before she loses herself entirely. And Gio, the name on everyone's lips in the past few days, will be the one to capture the audience's full attention. Gio is no longer an anonymous violinist. He is no longer the young man introduced by someone else. Now, he is a part of Port Charles's legacy. The son of Dante. The man Brooke Lynn has kept hidden for years. And as all these secrets explode, as the truth is revealed, Gio steps onto the stage not only as an artist but as a declaration: I exist, I have a voice, I have value. The music Gio plays that night will not just be pure melodies, but silent cries, suppressed rage, and a longing to be recognized, to be loved, to be treated fairly, things he has never fully received. Together, Trina, Jocelyn, and Gio, through their distinct performances, each with their own psychology, will create a dangerous chain reaction. Because when these three young individuals dare to speak their truth in front of the entire town, those trying to maintain their facades will no longer be able to sit quietly. The performances, originally meant to fundraise and entertain, will become acts of defiance, sparking a series of unresolved questions. Who pushed Trina away from Spencer? Who made Joss turn her back on Carly? Who stole Joe's true identity for 20 years? And as the audience rises to applaud these performances, those involved, from Dante, Brooke Lynn, Sunny, Carly, to Mina and Jason, will realize that everything has changed. The story is no longer about the ball. It is about the truth. And once that truth is illuminated under the stage lights, it can never be taken down. This is what makes Nurses Ball 2025 different. What has been simmering in relationships throughout the year is now being roasted under the power of song, music, glances, and tears on stage. No more pretense. No more evasion. No more control. This year, the Nurses Ball is where art meets rebellion, where music converses with tragedy, and where silence is broken by young people who can no longer remain quiet. This is no longer a night for fundraising. It is an emotional explosion. A night when Port Charles's new generation speaks up and asserts their place in a story where, for too long, they have been mere supporting characters. And when the final lights go down, it will not just be applause that remains. It will be doors flung wide open, new confrontations taking shape, and an older generation forced to look at itself, or be swept away by the truth of the younger generation without mercy. Alexis is at a major crossroads in her life, where what seemed like a reward after a long period of struggle and sacrifice is suddenly overshadowed by plots and unwanted interference. While she is preparing to receive some important good news, perhaps a career opportunity, a new position, or an honorary recognition, Ava, with her calm but calculating demeanor, is quietly sowing instability into Alexis's already fragile life. What Ava brings is not merely words or judgment, but a destructive act. A subtle warning that Alexis's past has never truly been buried, and with just one gentle push, everything could collapse. As always, Ava does nothing without motive. She may be trying to take something Alexis is about to have, or simply ensuring that Alexis's newfound power doesn't shake up her own plans. In Ava's eyes, Alexis, despite having given up much, her law career, public life, and even relationships, still remains a potential threat. Someone who could rise from the ashes and disrupt the delicate balance of power within the inner circles of Port Charles. So, when Ava begins to cast her shadow over Alexis's life, it is no longer a personal issue. It marks the beginning of a new confrontation, smoldering, toxic, and unforgiving. The situation becomes even more complicated when Christina and Molly, two daughters who have always had a complicated but deeply loving relationship with Alexis, start to realize that their mother is being dragged into a new storm. And unlike before, this time, they will not stand aside. Christina, with her impulsive yet loyal nature, and Molly, with her rational and tough-minded approach, are united in their efforts to protect the mother who has sacrificed so much for them. They may not agree with every decision Alexis has made in the past, but when they sense the real threat, their family instincts kick in, and for the first time in many years, the two daughters stand united by the woman they once resented, once distanced themselves from, but have never stopped loving. Christina and Molly's involvement in this battle is not just about protecting Alexis's reputation. It is the final awakening of all three women in a fractured family. When this event unfolds, it will not be a personal matter between Alexis and Ava. It will serve as a turning point to bring the Davis family closer together. No longer standing apart with prejudices, grievances, and judgment. They now stand side by side as a united front, using their relationships, legal knowledge, and personal courage to protect not only their honor but the future of the family matriarch. However, this unity signals the formation of a new disaster. Ava is not easily defeated, and Christina and Molly's involvement may complicate matters further. Any rash or uncontrolled actions could cause Ava to reveal the secrets she has kept hidden, secrets, documents, recorded conversations, and all of this could push Alexis into a corner, suffocating under the weight of mistakes she thought she had buried long ago. The internal dynamics of Port Charles are shifting. Characters once thought to be powerless are reclaiming central roles. Mother-daughter relationships that were once fractured are being healed by crisis. And old enemies, like Ava, are rising again, exploiting the fragility within those they once considered strong. In this context, Alexis faces the final question: will she continue to endure and avoid confrontation, or will she rise up, alongside her daughters, to fight for the peace that seems so distant? The answer is still uncertain. But one thing is certain: the storm has begun. And when it sweeps through, no one, least of all Ava, will be able to keep hold of what they once believed to be unshakable. Anna, a woman who has endured countless losses, betrayals, and silent battlegrounds, now faces yet another battle, one without gunfire, but more dangerous than any mission she has ever undertaken. As Port Charles slowly becomes a haven for dark forces, subtly controlled by powerful individuals, Anna, guided by the instincts of a true warrior, begins to notice unusual movements quietly restructuring the entire balance of power in the town. At the center of these manipulations is none other than Jack Brennan, the man who outwardly remains refined, calm, and kind, but inside harbors a complex world of manipulation, oppression, and control. Anna is no longer an active agent. She no longer holds a leadership position at the WSB, but her sharp intellect and ability to read the core of any situation have never left her. What begins with seemingly trivial pieces of information, such as unusual charitable funds, overlapping investments with unclear origins, and the sudden appearance of new, political advisors, in the town, quickly evolves into a troubling picture. Brennan is embedding his influence into every aspect of the community, from the hospital, schools, and government systems to even the media. And Anna knows that if she does not act, Port Charles will soon cease to be a safe place for anyone seeking to live a righteous life. With a bold plan in mind, Anna starts tracing the connections between Brennan and organizations outside the reach of federal authorities. She cannot do this openly, because Brennan is too clever, leaving no trace of his involvement in creating intermediaries to transfer funds, push people into positions, and exert influence without ever appearing in any official records. But with her experience and old connections, Anna quietly gathers evidence, deleted emails, calls from anonymous numbers, and manipulated financial reports. However, as her plan begins to show progress, a fierce counterattack comes. Brennan, as someone who understands the game of power, doesn't just retaliate by using the legal system to attack Anna. He also takes the story to the media, launching an underground smear campaign to tarnish her image. A series of accidentally leaked articles reveal past events involving Anna, from mission failures to relationships with figures once suspected of being spies, all coming to light, causing the public to question Anna instead of Brennan. And that's when everything starts to unravel. Anna's allies are taken down one by one. Some are threatened, some lose their positions, and others have their personal secrets exposed. Brennan has planned this for too long and too meticulously. But Anna is not someone who can be easily taken down. She knows how to strike back, and more importantly, she has the trust of those unshaken by the media or threats. Jason is the first to stand by her side, despite the doubts from the past. Carly, though always skeptical of anything involving politics and power, cannot turn a blind eye when she sees Brennan moving closer to manipulating the healthcare system, the very system that protects her family. And Sunny, despite struggling with upheavals in the underground world, cannot ignore that Brennan is expanding his influence into the network he once controlled. People who once seemed to be on opposite sides are now starting to realize, without Anna leading the charge, they will have nothing left to protect, not their families, not the truth. Not Port Charles. In the midst of this, Anna remains quietly determined. She doesn't rally the crowd. She doesn't threaten with violence. She does only what she knows best, uncover the truth. She begins reaching out to old agencies, reconnecting with agents who once risked everything by her side, requesting files that have been hidden for years. And from there, she discovers a vulnerability in Brennan's network, a point connected to international dealings he has made under the guise of medical collaboration, but in reality, trading in intelligence. As everything begins to come to light, Brennan starts losing control. The people who once supported him begin to walk away. His funding is frozen. His political allies begin avoiding his name. And in that moment, Anna, with her hair tied back, a sharp gaze, and a resolute stride, steps into the battlefield as the one to ignite the final flame. But this is not just a personal victory. Anna understands that taking down Brennan is just the first step. What he has left behind, the systems manipulated, the relationships fractured, the trust broken, will take a long time to heal. This battle will continue. But when everything seems to be dying down, Anna remains standing. Because she is not fighting for herself. She is fighting for Port Charles. For the truth. And for a tomorrow where power is no longer manipulation, but responsibility. A tomorrow where people like Brennan will never again have the opportunity to enter and steal what belongs to justice.